It's Wednesday.
Exactly.
Thanks, David.
Halfway to the weekend. Mark Stolway, joined by David Walter, and of course, the newest member of the Sunrise crew, and that is our Brissa Bradfield. As we start to get into, David, some more spring-like stuff this Wednesday morning, certainly compared to our Tuesday start.
Brissa's official in the morning show because she's in the commercials. Once you're in the commercials, then you're the real deal.
Hey, I can always be removed from those, so knock on wood.
I give the promotions people credit. They did get Brissa into those things quickly, and they eliminated Kara so quickly. She's still on staff here now. Nothing personal, Kara. We just had to update things quickly.
I just walk by her every day, and I don't say a single word to her. Just kidding. No, but in terms of weather, I stepped outside before, and it feels pretty good. It's middle upper 30s, which is by no means warm, but without much of a breeze, it feels fine. Yesterday, we were well in the 20s, and we were on the struggle bus to warm on up, even with that sunshine. But today, we'll shoot for the 40s. The forecast overall doesn't look too crazy. It's weird to be forecasting weather in March and not scratching my head every single day because I'm trying to figure out the complications of the forecast because there's not a whole lot happening. And March is usually a wild month for us.
There's not a lamb.
But we've managed. Yes, it's like a little panda bear. It's got the teeth, but it can be warm and cuddly sometimes.
And
but we've got warm.
I'm upset, David, when you say there's not much going on because it could be a lot worse. It could be like snowstorm, 7 feet of snow coming, but I'm okay with calm.
This winter has just been very odd. I mean, we've gotten big shots of snow. They all came on holidays, seemingly. And other than that, we went through a somewhat cold February, not as frigid as some places farther west. And then in January, we started off the first half of the month with no snow, and then we got enough after that. But right now, we're only sitting at about 60 inches of snow for the season, which is way below normal. And based on the pattern, I don't see us getting a whole lot of additional snow through at least the middle of the month. So we'll have to see what the end of March has for us. But by the end of March, our average high is getting into the 40s. So we're certainly warming up that way.
I have to say that I was actually kind of enjoying yesterday's frigid cold, at least first half of the day, because the backyard's been a swamp like most people's yards. The dog wants to get out there, but at least yesterday when it was frozen, got a chance to play ball with Harry and not come back into the house coated in mud. So that was a nice little bonus for both me and Harrison. Good stuff there. But, we're back into the muddy yard situation.
Yeah. It was nice out yesterday, though. It wasn't too slushy where I made it down to Presque Isle to go for a walk, and it was dry, not many puddles.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you got sunshine and you take the wind out of it, I mean, it's never that frigid unless the air temperature is like 0 or something like that. I mean, I've been out 15 degrees in the sunshine before, and I'm like, this isn't too bad. Not quite like short sleeves and shorts, but the sun always makes a difference.
David, are you still doing your "it could always be worse" thing, or is that?
Yeah. Every once in a while, whenever I need just a mental booster, I will certainly do that. A lot of times, my weather wow moment, it features some it could be worse moment because it's wild weather elsewhere. But yeah, I can kind of get back to making that almost like a daily thing, just to make you feel better about life.
Depending on which part of that.
Depending on which side of the scale we're on.
And it could always be worse. I remember when you said in Texas, was it just for the month of March that got more snow than us, or was that?
Yes, yeah. In the month of February, there is a little Texas town, Del Rio. It's on the Rio Grande River, which splits Mexico from the United States. And it's typical to have days that are well into the 60s down there. But they ended up with over 13 inches of snow in the month of February. Most of that fell in one day. In Erie, we ended up with less than that. We were at 11.5. So a lake effect city in a snow-prone area getting less snow than a little Texas border town that's, never gets snow.
Insane.
So, and I guess, when you pull out a stat like that, looking forward, the fact that we could go through this year and not see one of those big late season storms, you talked about that potential, David. I think that would kind of fit into the pattern of no pattern, I suppose.
Yeah, well, for at least through the middle of the month, no big storm. Not to say you can't get a sneak attack in like late March, even into April. I mean, we still average like 6 inches of snow. But for at least the next, I would say 10 to 12 days, I mean, we look to really go into a big warm phase towards the middle of the month. A lot of the country does. So it's just been an enormous roller coaster ride. We can kind of thank La Nina for that. We've had, big dips in temperatures and huge rises in temperatures. It's been so up and down. And that's our new normal. People ask me, well, like, what's normal this time of year? And I'm like, it's to not be normal. That's what's normal. All over the place is the normal.
And that's why you kind of are highlighting this week's quiet forecast as being so weird.
Yeah, it is. That's the thing, because this is not normal for March standards to be this quiet. You can see, like, the average high is 38 degrees or whatever, but some days we're in the 50s, some days we're down in the 20s. So you never quite hit your normal.
Well, I know Erie News Now is going to be down in Waterford. We were this morning ahead of First Lady Dr. Jill Biden's visit to Erie County today, and we'll be covering that one from start to finish throughout the afternoon. So certainly tune in later broadcasts of Erie News Now for the latest on that. We'll also be hearing from Governor Wolf later on today, talking about his efforts to get teachers closer to the front of the vaccine line, so to speak, here in Pennsylvania. So yeah, a lot going on Wednesday. And again, we'll be covering Dr. Biden's visit later on today. You can watch those later newscasts here on Erie News Now for all of that. And of course, we'll see you right back here 5 o'clock tomorrow morning for Erie News Now.
Oh, by the way, I got to say one thing. I learned something about Brissa this morning. She can't live in Florida. She can't live near alligators.
No.
The story about an alligator that came out of somebody's garage by surprise, right?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, it was the garage alligator story.
You're forgetting the 7-foot long alligator part. It sounds fine and dandy.
I'm going to guess 99.9% of people will say if you came face to face with an alligator in a sort of surprise situation, your reaction would be, and 99.9% would say run. 0.01% said
say they just dive right into the gator's mouth.
I would
like
take it
Brissa.
as a sign that my time
here.
This is not a little garden snake.
She would voluntarily just allow herself to be devoured by the alligator.
Well, here's the thing. Alligators are more scared of people, so they would probably run away. Crocodiles are a little different.
And a tip, if you ever do cross paths with one, isn't it running zigzags? Isn't that what you're supposed to do if you cross paths?
Yeah, it kind of makes them disoriented. Yeah, that's the case with a lot of animals if they are threatened and they're charging you. It's a good tip from Brissa.
If you're not
one, there are two options: or just walk into the mouth,
or just live here where we don't have large animals that can chase you.
There you go.
You're in your garage.
All right, guys. Tune in tomorrow morning, 5 a.m., and you can learn more about Brissa's, how she handles alligator attacks, those sorts of things. We'll have 2 hours worth coming your way tomorrow morning on Erie News Now. Sunrise, David, Brissa, everybody at home. Thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow.